no, 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 no. Up, around the bra strap. Around the bra strap. Wonderful. Come here, zombie.
Hey, what's up, creatures? It's Em, and I'm back today with another video for you. Today we're going to be looking at 5 common misconceptions that people have about snakes. Very few animals on this planet evoke such emotion and fear as snakes do. Today I hope that I can inspire you to have a better look at these creatures that are so feared and so misunderstood. Assisting me in today's video is Zombie, my grey-banded king snake. Now, those of you who are familiar with snakes might be wondering if she is in shed because she has these bluish colored eyes. When snakes are about to shed, they do exhibit bluish colored eyes, but Zombie is actually just an old snake. She has cataracts in both her eyes, so don't worry, she's not in shed. You're not really supposed to handle snakes when they are in shed. She's just naturally this beautiful every single day. If you haven't already, remember to hit that subscribe button down below, become part of the creature crew, and also hit that notification bell down in the corner there so you don't miss a single upload. Today's video is a collaboration video. Today I'm collaborating with Petko from The Dark Den. If you're familiar with The Dark Den, you'll know it is the one-stop place to go and learn so much about tarantulas. So if you're interested in finding out 5 common misconceptions people have about tarantulas, head on over there using the link in my description box below after this video.
Hello creatures, come and visit me after this video to learn 5 tarantula misconceptions.
Hey Petko, touch my snake.
Oh no, I don't want to touch snakes, they are slimy.
Slimy.
Now that is where you would be wrong. You see, a lot of people have the misconception that snakes are slimy. They think that they're going to have the same texture as possibly worms or eels or fish, but that's just not the case. Snakes are incredibly smooth, and a healthy snake has scales, especially belly scales, which glisten in the sun and look like they could be slimy. Different snakes have different kinds of textures. Zombie over here is a fairly rough feeling snake, but if you were to feel something like my rubber boa, he is much smoother in texture, but no snakes are slimy. I mean, unless you've been playing with slime and snakes, which I don't recommend. So although those belly scales are beautiful and shiny, there is no slime which comes off of them. They are just the same texture as a handbag. Oh dear. Don't buy snake handbags.
I have a question for you. Why are you so beautiful? Oh,
I can't. Just excuse me if I get very passionate about this next myth, because it has been one that has followed me and plagued me my entire life. It's not just a myth or a misconception, it's also an urban legend. And the urban legend goes something like this.
My cousin had a huge pet snake and she always slept under his bed. Then one night she started sleeping inside of his bed, so he took her to the vet, and the vet told him that she was not sick, she was actually measuring him so she can eat him.
Rubbish. I don't care if it was your uncle or your friend or your parent, whoever it was who tells you this story is absolute codswallop. Now, in my humble opinion, snakes are evolutionary geniuses, and there are plenty of things that snakes are so good at, but measuring is not one of them. Snakes do not measure things before they eat them, hence why you get pictures like this reticulated python who bit off more than he could chew. So the next time you hear that urban legend, you'll know it's total rubbish. Look at her, she's measuring me to eat me. Another misconception is that snakes are poisonous.
In actual fact, only a tiny percentage of snakes are actually truly poisonous.
And I know you're probably thinking, well, what about cobras and rattlesnakes and all these other poisonous creatures? Well, here's the catch for you. They're not actually poisonous. Rattlesnakes and cobras are certainly venomous, but not necessarily poisonous. Let me explain. Venom is something which is injected into you. For example, a snake, when it bites, will inject venom into your bloodstream. However, poison is something that you ingest, like a mushroom.
An example of a truly poisonous snake is the red-necked keelback, which can actually excrete a poison from glands on the back of its neck, as shown here in this clip by David's feed. The red-necked keelback gets its poison through eating poisonous amphibians in its natural habitat. It's even believed to pass this second-hand poison onto its offspring, but relatively little is understood about this so far. The red-necked keelback isn't just poisonous, it's also rear-fanged venomous and can inject venom through delivering a well-placed bite, making this snake poisonous and venomous.
So, if it bites you and you die, it's venomous. If you bite it and you still die, it's poisonous.
Wow, Em, that's actually really morbid.
Yeah, I know, thanks Dark Den. Now please don't try this at home, but theoretically speaking, this king cobra which I milked in Thailand, I could technically drink that venom and not have any consequences unless I had any open cuts or sores in my body which came into contact with the venom.
So there are very few snakes in the world which you could lick and
die. The rest are all venomous. Well, not all of them, but the other harmful snakes are venomous, not poisonous. Another misconception about their care is that snakes will only grow as large as their enclosure. Snakes will grow to the size that their species is supposed to grow to if they are fed the right foods, regardless of whether their enclosure is the right size. Now Zombie over here, the grey-banded king snake, she's already an adult and she maxes out in her species at around 4 feet, sometimes only 3.5. But another snake I have, Bess, he is much larger, and regardless of whether I feed them the same and keep them in the same size enclosure, Bess will always have grown to be his size and Zombie would always stay the size that she is.
So it's really important to get the biggest enclosure you can afford and to upgrade your snakes as they grow. Although I'm a bit confused about that one. How can you upgrade your snakes?
Next misconception, or hisconception. Sorry. I'm sure we've all seen that animated classic The Jungle Book where Kaa the python hypnotizes Mowgli with his eyes. Trust in me. Well, I hate to burst your bubble, but snakes, although they are very hypnotic and beautiful to look at, cannot actually hypnotize you. And for that matter, we cannot hypnotize them through music. Cobras and other snakes are not entirely deaf, but they don't get pleasure or enjoyment from the limited amount of things they can hear. So they're not listening to the music.
So how come we always see snake charmers playing flute to hypnotize the snake?
When you're watching a snake charmer in action, it does appear very magical and as though the snakes are truly charmed by the music and by the snake charmer. This is actually just science and great showmanship. Snake charmers really sell to the audience by moving their flutes backwards and forwards, making it look like they're really into their music, and the cobras in turn seem to reciprocate by standing up, displaying their hoods and moving to the music as though they're charmed. When the cobras do this, they're not charmed, they're not hypnotized, and they're not rocking out to the music. They are just doing what comes naturally to them as a defense mechanism.
The species of snake often used in snake charming displays are Indian spectacled cobras, so called because they have 2 spots on their hood which look like spectacles.
And they have very good eyesight, so when you're moving something in front of them, they are following the motion to make sure that they're able to react or run away if it comes towards them. That's what they're really doing when they're following that flute. And in fact, I traveled a few years ago to Thailand to bust this myth in front of a king cobra. As you can see, this king cobra is completely ignoring the flute, which is off to the left hand side of the screen. Instead, he's completely fixated on me and my hand because I'm right in front of him. I move my hand, demonstrating that he follows the motion instead of the rhythm. So snakes are not slimy. You can't fit them into a small enclosure and expect them not to grow. They do not get hypnotized by music, cannot hypnotize you, and most are not poisonous. Thank you to my beautiful assistant, Zombie, for being a part of today's video and showing off just how wonderful snakes can be. And of course, thank you so much to the Dark Den for also being a part of this collaboration.
Thanks for having me here, creatures. Now feel free to come over to my channel, the Dark Den, for our collaboration on the tarantula misconceptions.
Thank you guys all so much for watching. I will see you in another video soon. Bye!